But I got a chance, obviously, to watch last night's game as I was en route. Starlink, shout out. We appreciate you so much for everything. But on that note, I think the reason why Starlink is going to be so good is because they got satellites everywhere. Okay, Elon's shooting these things up every day. They pump, 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 pump. We're sending satellites up there, so they're literally everywhere. It's like the Houston Texans defense. Okay, swarm. This swarm. We got a special work ethic. Okay, and then we have an attitude of relentlessness.
Yep.
And a mindset, I believe, is what SWARM stands for.
Yeah.
There's an E in there, too. They hide it. The E is hidden and silent. But the Houston Texans defense, I watched it live whenever they came and played against the Indianapolis Colts. And we talked about how they bring the boo birds. And Pittsburgh Steelers fans aren't going to boo a poor offensive performance early because they're used to it over there. The stat is absurd. Kevin, what's the stat on the amount of points early for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I think it's 77 straight games now that they haven't scored more than 7 points in the first quarter.
Okay, 77 straight games. That's so long to think about not scoring more than 7 points in the first quarter. Obviously, that could be a Mike Tomlin thing where he's super conservative. Let's not give it too much away. Let's not turn the ball over. First quarter, we're just sparring to get to the second half anyways. But nonetheless, the Steelers fans understand that the games are going to start pretty boring on offense. They know it's not going to be great. But this Houston Texans defense made their offense look boring all night. I mean, it was literally a situation where if you think the Houston Texans defense is going to give up anything, you're wrong. And there was a couple plays early where maybe DK dropped a ball and they kind of slipped or they gave up some coverage and the Demon picked up a third down late, Adam Thielen and stuff like that. But the Houston Texans defense is just always there. They're always on top of you. And they seemingly, and I think Schrager tweeted last night about their defense coordinator, Burke, should be getting head coaching opportunities. Like, yes. I don't know how he does it in this entire thing. CJ was hurt for a portion. Obviously, you go to Dougie Mills, he plays some football for you. But the only thing that's been a constant is that this defense has just killed teams. They just killed teams. They came to Indianapolis. We could do a thing. And they didn't care. And they danced in our faces. And it's just like a never-ending pursuit of greatness with their defense. And yesterday I woke up thinking that Aaron Rodgers is going to have a long day against this defense because everybody's going to have a long day against this defense. And then I kind of talked myself into, oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long. They didn't even play it. That's how bad it was last night. I mean, AJ, you're talking about worst case scenario for Aaron Rodgers and that offense is having to play that Texans team in the wild card. And for Mike Tomlin, it's another playoff loss. That's 7 straight now. And, it's bad over there, dude. But that Texans defense, we knew that they could do that. I don't know why we forgot about that when we all picked the Steelers. I think it's because we all thought maybe gunslinger Aaron Rodgers goes for another run here, knowing that the time is potentially short for him getting on the field. But that was never realistic, AJ, with the way that defense is.
No, I mean, just look at these stats. 3 takeaways, 2 defensive touchdowns. Also, C.J. Stroud turned the ball over 3 times, 2 fumbles and a pick. So the fact that you're able to win 30-6 when your offense has 3 turnovers, but you scored twice on defense, but it was more like, okay, if they're only bringing 4 most of the time, and they're getting 4-man pressure on Aaron all night, and if he does get rid of the ball, it's almost like a check down or a 3 or 4 yard route. And as D-Butt says, he is getting stapled to the ground as soon as you catch the ball against this Houston Texans defense.
They brought 2 there. I think they brought 2 there. Yeah, I think Nose was dropping back. It was just 2 ends. Yeah. Maybe they had 3 coming or whatever. It was like, maybe not this play. There was a play I was watching where they brought 2 guys and they got home. 2 guys got home. And now, I'm not saying that Aaron had a perfect game and that their offense could have maybe been able to do well, but it's just like they make everybody terrible. That's what they do. But in the secondary, nobody's open ever.
Yeah.
How are they able to do that? This seems like they're cheating. I honestly, they might be cheating, this Houston Texans defense, D-Bud.
Yeah, a lot of times we talk about defenses, we talk about exotics or lining up and tricking you, 4 guys over here, 3 guys, but they just line up and they do what they do week in and week out. It starts with the guys up front. Obviously, they got 2 unbelievable guys off the edge, Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter. They're phenomenal. But then on the back end, when I was doing the all-everything DB team, I said the entire secondary can be Texans with Kamari Lassiter, Stingley, Petrie, Bullock, like they're all phenomenal. Bullock, he ended the game with a pick six, but his defensive front, if you can't do anything, if you can't block them up front, you will have no success on offense. There's going to be a few opportunities to beat this defense, and you better capitalize on it. Once DK dropped that potential touchdown, that deep ball, you kind of knew it was over right there. And you mentioned C.J. Stroud. He had a tough night with snaps and all type of shit. But this defense, man, this is a championship defense that can for sure carry this team to a Super Bowl.
They're mean, they're big, they're fast, they're smart, they're physical. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just everything you want from a defense that can maybe win a Super Bowl. And last year, Age, we saw the run game and a great defense, but the run game really carried the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that was the superstar conversation about the Philadelphia Eagles. Granted, their defense was phenomenal as well. But this team, if they were to go on a run, it would be like Texans defense won that Super Bowl. It'd go back to like Baltimore, with whenever Trent was the quarterback. Shout out to him going back to Lipscomb Academy. We hope the Mustangs have a great season.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
We hope the Mustangs have it. We love that Mustangs team down there in Nashville. But it's like this would be first time, long time where it's like defense carries the way. And they could definitely do it, H. This defense, I think, after what we just watched last night, what we've been watching all season with them, they could go win a Super Bowl. They could beat anybody. Josh Allen, obviously, and I mean, this goes into a full AFC conversation, which I guess we should slow down. But that defense can make anybody look terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just a real deal. So if on the other side you can do a little bit, which we know CJ can, we all have an immense amount of faith in him. Nico going out, obviously tough for them last night. That's not good. But I like the Texans more and more. What an unbelievable win, Triggs. We talk. I'm saying glowingly of the Houston Texans defense since I watched them play against the Colts. They were so good, so fast. Our crowd was booing within the first 5 minutes of the first quarter because they knew our offense wasn't going to be able to do anything against them. They did that last night and then some, obviously scoring like 14 points within a matter of what seemed like 2 minutes in the fourth quarter to kind of change the entire game. But you mentioned Matt Burke as being a head coach. No shit. I haven't heard his name at all. That's a special defense over there right now. They're on the path to be historic. They might win it all because of the defense strengths.
Let me tell you something about Matt Burke. This is a guy who has been around the league, has bounced around a bit, was with the Dolphins, with the Eagles, gets to Houston, and this is before they drafted Stroud and before they drafted Will Anderson, and D'Amico's obviously defensive coach. This year, D'Amico gives up play calling duties on defense to Matt Burke, who very quietly has put together this season with D'Amico, obviously a big voice in it. And these guys have been unbelievable all season. So week 4 or 5, Orlovsky and I went out there and we called, and I was on that broadcast crew that called the Seahawks-Texans Monday night game. It was part of a doubleheader. Not a lot of people stayed up to watch it. But now you look at it, it's Seahawks-Texans. Seahawks won by 14 points. You don't think much about it, whatever. The Texans defense absolutely dominated that game. And I came out of that thing being like, okay, I know they lost, but this team is legit. Then they beat the snot out of Josh Allen and the Bills. They eliminate the Chiefs. They go on, they get to the playoffs. And then last night on national television, just absolutely destroyed the Steelers offense, which was clicking the week before, top to bottom. And I give not only D'Amico and Matt Burke and the players a lot of credit, I give Nick Caserio, the GM, a lot of credit because a lot of it's homegrown. They drafted Stingley before Sauce Gardner. Everyone was like, you're drafting Stingley before Sauce? Stingley had all the injuries. Drafted Stingley before Sauce. Traded up to get Will Anderson. Petrie was a second-round pick. You look at those different pieces. Bullock, draft pick. Lassiter, draft pick. And then bring in Al-Shaair, right? Bring in Danielle Hunter. This is a loaded team, all 3 levels. And it might be one of those years where everyone's like, anyone's guess who's in the Super Bowl. We wake up the Monday after the AFC Championship game and we're like, holy crap, the Houston Texans are playing in the Super Bowl, and they have the best defense since the Baltimore Ravens fielded in 2000. They're that good, and they are that deep, and they're that well coached. Sorry for this 6-minute soliloquy on the Texans defense, but I've been wowed by them 4 different occasions. Seahawks game, Bills game, Chiefs game, and this game where it's like, holy crap.
Yeah, when you get eyes on them in person, it's even different because they're all big. They're all fast.
Oh,
They're all strong, and their gap sound. And Deba, you were talking, and Troy was talking a lot about it last night. They're like the old Seattle Seahawks defense, right? Where they're just doing their shit.
Yep.
You just know exactly what it is. It's not like Aaron was going to have some sort of advantage by being able to pick apart what they were doing. They're not disguising anything. They're just playing football, saying, "Let's go and get it." Right,
And,
Deba. What does that mean for like going forward?
I mean, it just means basically everyone knows their roles. So everyone, and even the offense is coming in, they know, okay, this is where it's going to be. They're going to be playing this type of coverage. This is how we can attack it. But everyone knows their role. So if I'm playing with AJ, I'm always in a curl flat, and he's always in a hook curl. Like, we almost know how each other's going to play each down. And you talked about that Ravens 2000s defense, the LOB. They were similar. Even that no-fly zone defense in Denver. They kind of won that Super Bowl when Peyton was there. Like, you knew what they were doing lining up. Their guys were just better, and they flied around. They were better coached. And the way that this team swarms, and even when you catch the ball, like, you're going to get a headache every time you catch the ball. And that's if the quarterback can get the damn ball out of his hands. Like, they are unbelievable. Kind of depending on how they finish this playoff run, can definitely go down as one of the all-time great defenses that we've seen.
I love that AJ and Darius are here also. It's Danielle Hunter's got 115 career sacks. He's 31 years old. We never talk about this guy. I mean, we're talking about an all-time legend putting a career together that is doing so and anonymously, back Minnesota and here, just compiles the sacks.
Should have been first team All-Pro.
And yeah.
Oh,
and
that's
just
rich.
A huge season.
Who's
I don't
voting
vote.
on that?
I voted for him as first team All-Pro. So
Did you?
yeah.